Joe, morning.
Morning.
How long you been?
Afternoon. How long I've been waiting here? 2 hours. Left me here since 9:30. Time now, 11:30.
That's the commitment that
Turned
Glazing Hub.
up, hasn't even got me a coffee.
Whoa.
Got everybody else.
Do we need to show the message where you forgot to include your own,
don't worry.
your own
Don't
coffee
worry.
request? Joe's up today because Terry and Obi that work in the Glazing Hub team are currently fitting windows. And when we left the site last, one window was in, and right now you've just told me that all the windows are out of the house.
Of the house
There's
side.
not one of the old windows in the house.
Correct.
So we're going to have a look at that, and what we're going to try and do is capture Terry, and he's a wily animal, so he's hard to catch. I said capture Terry. We're going to try and get Terry on camera doing a full replacement of a window. And I don't feel like I've actually introduced this episode fully, because I kind of forgot what episode we're on now. It's all bleeding into the other. H, help me out here.
Call it the latest one.
Welcome to the latest episode.
The late show.
Welcome to the late episode of The Verified Build. Let's get into it. Oh, they do look good. Oh, we've got a big one in. Flat white for you, Terry. Don't worry, mate. I've got everyone a coffee apart from Joe.
Cheers.
First time.
Enjoy it, mate. Probably cold. 2 hours cold. But he's been on important calls.
Yeah, you have to have such sarcasm. Why are they different up there? They look like they've got something attached and they don't.
The trickle vent covers need to go on.
Is that it?
That's it. Hi, Joe from Glazing Hub, back on site in Uttoxeter. Obviously, last time we were here, we did the survey, got all the designs together, sent that across to Adam to obviously get it all signed off and approved. We're now back on site doing the installation. Obviously, just showing you kind of what we do, how we do it. Obviously, in the normal circumstances, all of this would be dust sheeted. We're in a building site, so obviously it's slightly different today. But we'll do a rip out of the window, show you kind of from start to finish of what we do and how we do it.
How long does this process normally take?
Very much depends on the window that's coming out. A window from to start to finish, you're probably looking at an hour and a half. Depending on the size of a full house, you're looking at anywhere between 3 to 5 days. So obviously what we've done there, remove the sashes in there, which then just leaves the outer frame. So effectively now we'll cut the outer frame and collapse it in the hole.
Would someone normally expect to need to get a plaster in, or?
No, very, very rare. What we try to do is obviously cut the frame, collapse the window, the actual window frame within the aperture, so effectively it causes as minimal damage as we can as possible. We normally picture frame around the inside, so if there is a slight bit of plaster chipping or anything like that, effectively it's kind of corked, filled, and then obviously the trims go around the outside. It then leaves no decoration for the customers, or very, very minimal. So that's the norm of what would normally happen.
If there is any touch-up, it's literally probably just a little dab of paint or something.
Correct, yeah, if anything. Obviously in this circumstances, it's very different. We're standing in the middle of a building site, so yeah, it's hard to kind of give a true representation of how it happens because of the situation we're in. We've just moved to a different room, ripped out the window in the room next door. Just come back here, we've prepped this window already, so effectively this was the first one that came out. The other guy obviously preps the windows, getting it ready to go back in while we effectively rip the other one out. Seals on, trickle vents on, handles on, everything like that. So this window is now ready to go in the hole and be fitted. We're now going to try and level it up. So what Terry's doing now, obviously we put the fixings in, so it's not just a case of putting the window in and kind of foaming it in place. We put it in, level it up, pull the fixings in, so obviously it's secured into place, and then what we do, we just make sure everything's spot on. And then effectively, so these trickle vents, you literally just pop it open, you have a trickle of air. But, like if you look at the gap at the bottom to the gap at the top, that's the problem with old properties.
What's that gap from?
Levelling the window and the property being out of level.
So that gap is the wall just out of shape?
Out of shape.
And this left-hand one was on hinges, but you screwed that in?
Correct.
Why?
So the difference is, if you come downstairs, I'll show you. You might well have seen on this on the flush windows that you can't actually notice which one's an opener. With your standard traditional PVC, you can always see the larger outer frame, so effectively you can see where that sash is, so you can see which is the opening sash on that on those windows. With these, that is something called dummy sashed, so effectively you've got an actual opening casement frame, which is then fixed shut. Aesthetically, it looks a lot better. It's a lot more balanced than it comes as standard on a flush window. The windows that we've got in the property of flush windows, we did that to give it more of a heritage look. Obviously, it's an old property, so instead of just going for your standard PVC, your sculpted or your chamfered, which is kind of your more traditional PVC, we've gone for the flush, keeps the period, features within the property. Put the 9mm lead in. It matches with what the kind of the character of the property and everything like that. The agate grey kind of matches within the local area. There's a couple of properties with it on, so that was the thoughts behind this kind of window that we went for. So yeah, flush agate grey with your 9mm lead. This is kind of during the installation, so the window's gone in. Obviously, it's all been levelled up. With a PVC window, you have to leave an expansion gap where the windows can obviously expand and contract. And what you do, you fill that with expanding foam, and then effectively the lads will come back and they'll start the finishing process, so getting it all sealed, trimmed, everything like that. So it's finished, ready for the homeowner.
.2 by 1.1. So, just as a bit of context, we don't have a price from Dan for the tiling. We're going to work that out right now.
You said earlier about the tiling.
Yep.
To include that, I haven't given you a quote for the tiling.
You did.
I'll give you a per metre.
No, you give me a quote.
Where?
It might have just been a WhatsApp message. I'll dig it out.
Yeah.
I'll dig it out.
No,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'll give you a per metre, but I haven't actually give you a physical quote.
Well, I've got a number in my head of what I think this is going to cost me. It's based on a square meterage, 2.1 by 1.1. He thought I was going to pay for the window then, he thought he was in. I've got to remove that big hole. Minus 90. Yeah, call it 2.7. 300. 2.5. Do this bit.
Let's go to window, we'll give it for free.
Oh, you're... Got that camera. I get this space right here. 1.8 by 40 again. 2.4, and I guess it's 400 again, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you've done the jobs properly.
Don't measure it just in case.
Bang on. bang on. 1.2. 10 square metres. Job today with Chris. We've got a bunch of stuff from our friends over at Roca. We actually just need to, I guess, open it all up and see what we've got.
See what we got, yeah, see what we can...
Make sure we've got everything that we
where?
need, and if there's been any change of plans since speaking to Roca, you're probably going to hear from me soon because plans seem to be shifting at the moment. Talking about plans, professional segue, what's this?
That is a to-scale
To scale.
plan of the ensuite. Here, will probably be just here. So we've got an 800 shower tray coming in, which will come to just there.
Yep,
So we've got to build a stud wall to account for that.
yep.
So a stud wall out here. We're going to come in 800.
And off that, that's the materials we need to go through today because you're going to get onto this back end of this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
800 here comes to about there.
Yep.
And then I decided with Dan, we're going to have a little nib just so there's a bit more room, just so you've not got an 800 corridor
Okay.
all the way through. Come out a bit, doorway somewhere around here, which is there. And then just deciding probably the basin in this gap. Boom, boom. We've got an 800. I think we've got an 800 or 600 basin.
Nice, well lit.
And then the toilet.
Actually, if it was a keyboard then. That's how I wash my hands, by the way.
Just the tips.
Yeah, just the tip.
So toilet is going to be around here somewhere. Whether it goes on this wall, just here.
Yep.
Can't have it too close because of if you've got someone like Harry.
Yep. The one thing that's cropping up in my mind at the moment is the staging lady. She's now called the staging lady, Sarah. She has a name. Stage spaces. Well, I assumed this wall was going to come out to here flush, but I actually prefer your idea because then you get more bedroom.
It just gives you that bit of turning space.
Because we were looking at having the bed against this stud wall, because then you've got the window directly opposite, so when you wake up in the morning,
Oh, right,
you can see
okay,
the
yeah,
light. But I think that'll be okay because it comes to here, doesn't it? So you would. It's whether that is a problem. If you put a double bed in here, you're doing that thing that people hate, which is you can only get into the bed one side.
Yeah.
You've got to climb over your other half. So
Save
there's
the
two
bed.
options here, facing that way.
Yeah.
Alternatively, look at that.
Dirty sparkies.
That is why
That's
you
what
need,
that is.
That is why you need safety boots on site. So the other option was, talking of the Halloween special, if you're wondering when you watched that video why it took so long for Chris to get from here to that stream, it's because you couldn't answer this. Harry edited it and made it look pretty quick.
Your final find. It rhymes with scream. Ice cream, dream. Rhymes with scream. Cream. Scream. Stream. In the stream.
That's because I call it a brook, not a stream.
The other option was the bed here,
Yeah, that's initially what I thought.
because you've still got natural light there, that's fine. And I guess on that stud wall, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but that needs to be able to hold a mounted TV.
Yeah, a TV or anything like
That's
that,
where
yeah.
it'll go. It'll create
Even if you have a small set of
wardrobe,
drawers,
exactly. Yeah.
going, they'll tuck in this space.
What do you need to do? Because we need to go through now, because you need some more materials.
Yeah, so we've got to look at what you're doing with the roof.
What are my choices here? Don't forget, Chris, plumbing heat engineer background, but also has moved his business to Minty Property Developments. So he actually sheds a lot of light on a lot of stuff for the property. Really bigging you up there, aren't I?
You need to, really.
This we feel like we can't remove.
What are you actually trying to gain from going up? Other than Harry's all right, headspace.
Yeah, nothing. I just think tall vaulted ceilings feel airy and nice.
But then you've got to also think in keeping theme with the property.
Yeah.
You go downstairs, they're
Yeah.
not tall vaulted ceilings.
So your suggestion is we insulate and board here
yeah,
to here, all the way around.
I'd leave these exposed.
Leave it.
So you board up to there,
Yep.
which you keep in line with your windows,
Yep.
and then board from there across.
Across. Yeah, makes sense.
So then paint these, sand and whatever.
Yeah, we'll
being done with them.
treat them. You're not boarding them, or are you boarding them?
Oh my!
Boards need to be delivered.
If we're doing this,
Yep.
you might as well board it all in one go, rather than board this, wait, get plaster in to board that, blah 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 blah. If it's being done, it's being done, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think what we're trying to work out is basically this room your responsibility from a ensuite, stud wall and boarding.
Yeah. Is that me or is that somebody else? Happy to do it. Doesn't bother me.
Preference would be you, and I know that's not in the quote, so charge accordingly. I'll get that in writing.
You know the money you saved on the tiling? That'll go, because there's no point in having a loft hatch up here.
Agree.
There's a decent loft downstairs that we're going to put the loft ladder in.
Yep.
So there's plenty of room. So this can just be flat straight across.
Okay, so I need a bill of quants from you for what needs to be ordered, because you want this week, don't you? This
Ideally,
stuff,
yeah,
don't you? Okay, what do we need to do now to get that done?
Well, prepared earlier is I've got 25 sheets of 18 by 900.
I guess we just got to start opening boxes now and start moving them about. I guess it's me a case of grab a box, see where it goes. We're working with our friends over at Roca who are providing a number of products for both the bathrooms as well as the downstairs WCs in both properties. We've had a couple of deliveries because we've been quite specific over the stuff that we would like for the properties because they've got some new ranges out and we think there's some amazing stuff that these guys do. But right now, and it's on us, not on Roca, everything that we've been sent and had delivered from a number of different brands is kind of just in one place. So it's come to that point in the job now, sort of mentioned previously, we're going through this transition of just like taking stuff out of the build, and now we're starting to actually get to the nice finishings like the kitchen behind you that you've seen in the build. We're starting to put stuff back in. So the job right now is moving stuff that we've got from Roca into the relevant places. So one, we can clear some space downstairs, but two, we can make sure that we've got everything that was on the order, make sure nothing's been missed. So when Chris comes to actually start the work, which is at the back end of this week, he's got everything that he needs. So he's roped me into giving him a hand. What's that?
Why have you got that?
That's the replacement for that.
Downstairs toilets,
Basin mixer,
various bits.
glass. Just says glass. Oh, this does look nice. Should we get this up?
There's a handle on the side.
Nope.
I've got one.
Romea, that's the name of it. Okay. Watch your feet, mate. What are you doing? What's up?
Nothing.
Tell me.
Where's that toilet going?
I assume you mean that. I think that was a toilet. Ensuite.
Slightly
Ensuite.
different because that one sits on the floor.
Is that a problem?
No, that's fine. That's all right.
I don't believe in it. I think he's just being a hero. Like these? Is that they're the shower trays, aren't they?
Yeah, that'd be a shower tray. That's for the ensuite.
Yep.
That's a small cloakroom basin.
Small cloakroom basin.
That'll be
Okay.
downstairs toilets. Another shower. Another toilet. How many toilets have we got?
What's this?
Another toilet.
How many toilets have we got? Right now we're missing basins. But, I mean, you've seen this place. It could be anywhere. Wait, he's found one. He's only got and found. Oh, he's
Not
right on
hiding
top.
from us at all. It's a soft box.
You got this?
I haven't.
No, you don't, do you?
Spin it again, 90. I'm trying.
Breaking sweat, Harry.
Shower's already up here. You don't know.
I'm joking. Let's go. What's missing?
Toilet, cistern unit, shower tray. Hold it there, let me come round.
Okay. What's your step, mate? So, really what's happening right now, guys, is Nick Bundy's been tied up in his van for the last 2 hours. I'm trying to work out how much this is actually costing me. But we'll...
Where'd you get your car from?
You've arrived, had lunch.
Early.
How much is this costing if this was by the hour?
We don't do hourly rates, so you're okay.
Don't do hourly rates.
Never, ever, ever do. It's full price work we do, never charge the hour.
And that's why I love seeing Nick just relax, come to site, always hits his deadlines, but always seems to be having a good time.
And his head.
And his head.
hits his head.
Always hits his head.
Yeah, we have this question a lot with YouTube. You get the occasional comment saying, "Ugh, you're wasting customers' time, you're charging them for doing your own videos."
Well, you've done content here where people have
moaned about it.
moaned about it.
But if I was working an hourly rate, which would be discussed and quoted for the customer, but we would never do that.
Yep.
Everything's always on a price. I've never done a day rate for the past.
Question,
5 years.
is part of that because you also want to create content and you know that you'll slow the job down and people see you filming with your GoPro and bits like that?
No, I just
Is it-
realise it's the best way for me to work. Because there's an incentive to finish quicker, better. You know, I can get out there earlier. But then it gives the customer a peace of mind if we're doing a certain type of job and something was to go wrong. And it's something that it's not going to be an extra on cost of materials, but it is labour.
Yeah.
Their cost isn't going to go up, it's a fixed price. So I then have to try and incur that. But most of the time it's beneficial for us because we can get in, we can do what we want in a small time frame. Sometimes we don't have lunch, we don't stop and whatnot. So the quicker we get the job done, we can go home with the same result.
Have a crisp, just
Thank
the
you,
one.
mate.
No, I'm genuinely being good.
What your boxing regime?
12th of December, fight night, prostate
Who are you
cancer.
fighting? Had a lot of customers recently, a lot. Obviously everyone's really cautious on pricing. Really, I'm not sure because I've had it before. We've had plumbers in around my house and you don't know, they do a bit extra stuff and you're not sure whether or not the cost is the cost. But once they're assured 100% this is the price for this and it won't change for these 8 downlights we're doing and a new switch and whatever, even if it's chipboard or floorboard, if it's my mistake if I didn't check before, they're not paying anything else. They are absolutely bounding to me of this is the cost.
So guys, I'm smiling through gritted teeth right now because I have my first wobble on site because we're going through this transition and it's because we're about 7 to 10 working days behind, so 2 weeks behind schedule right now. So right now we're going through this, everything's been ripped out and we're starting to have materials delivered. You probably saw a delivery from Tippers, the kitchens are in, but we need the plastering, we need the paint and decorating, so we need to change this from what looks like a building site into an actual home reno. So core job today for 2 of the team, clean the whole site down and you'll hopefully notice a difference in the background when we're shooting content. Outside of that, we've got a guy called Teirnan. You probably might have seen him if you're in the trade, has a product called Pipe Easy, like one of the most prolific flooring experts in the country coming down to quote for the flooring. And beyond that, it's nice to see that Dan, Chris, Nick, just a whole bunch of people on site today trying to get us back on schedule. So yes, bit of a sourpuss today, but I'm confident by the end of the day, energies will be back to where they need to be.
Why are we behind?
We might have covered it off before. It's this balancing content with a home renovation. Like we've got a deadline and there's certain things that have to happen. The plasterers need to be in next week, which as of filming this, it's week commencing the 7th next week. Like they have to be in next week because the paint and decorator is booked in. Digs are booked in, the team's booked in. If we miss that, then all of a sudden we can't get Kev up for probably 4 to 8 weeks. So we're looking at January. If you can't get that done in time, then the rest of the whole build has to basically go on pause. That's kind of been a realization today. And the reason we've got ourselves up to that point is like me and Harry have to be on site to film the content. So it's this balancing act. And right now what my focus is in the next 5-7 days, we might miss some of the content by not being on site because I've asked all the guys to go, content has to be second focus for the next 7 days. Otherwise we're gonna end up 2 months behind on this build. We've booked them in for a time slot Week commencing the 14th, P&D starts. So that includes a number of the team coming up. And because we're working with Kev, he's doing us a favour. He's driving up, which means we're putting him in digs. Digs, rooms, sleeping overnight until he's done the job, because he's working outside of his area, doesn't want to drive backwards and forwards every single day because it's a right trek. So he's coming up for that, but after that he's got the paint and decorating show to go to. Then he's got other work booked in, so if we miss our time slot, he can't just say, no worries Adam, I'll be back next week, let me know when you're ready. He's booked up. So we can't get him back in for 6 to 8 weeks, and then we're on Christmas, then we're on the end of the year. So it's going to be January before we get him on site, and it's this domino effect of how renovation takes place, because that needs to be done before Nick Bundy can come back in and do the first fix electrics. That's the domino effect of slipping behind.
Have the trades ran on long, or have they just not had to hit a specific date yet?
Probably a learning / failure on my side is I've been thinking a lot about content. So I actually haven't said, guys, this has to be done by this date, otherwise the rest of the job falls over. So my spit and dummy out moment downstairs, which is we're behind, let's get this back on track, wasn't actually directed at them, it was more directed at myself, because I haven't done a good job communicating this has to be done by then, and then the knock-on effect. So that's sort of where we are. So, just shot that piece of content, everyone's digging in, doing extra time. Turns out Nick Bundy's just pulled a little prank on the landscaper on site. Like that, and then yeah. How many goes does it take?
I didn't mean to do that.
Busy hitting the deadlines that we've just rolled out as a team.
They've just shipped up.
Big conversation. Well, that's rude.
Meanwhile,
You good?
we've got hard workers like Chaz.
Glazing Hub, come in, say they're going to do a job by a certain time and do a job by a certain time. This is Terry. Hi, Terry.
Good afternoon, everybody.
This man. Oh, and here's everybody else. Coming to look busy.
I'm trying to dry out.
How long did it take to get down here?
About an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay.
So it wasn't too bad, to be fair.
Question, do you know if you're interested in doing this work,
Yeah,
would you get digs down here?
I would do anything over an hour.
Get some digs?
Yeah, usually. Because you're
Perfect.
wasting 3 hours a day driving. So
Before we go in and you can talk us through what the plan is, can you just give me a brief background to yourself, company, and specifically Pipe Easy?
well, I've been doing flooring since leaving school, and obviously the Pipe Easy tools and invention that come on Dragon's Den.
Yep.
So yeah, that's it really. It's nothing too
So
exciting.
leaving school, so you're 26, 27 years old now?
No, a lot older than that. Yeah, definitely. A lot older than that.
So how long have you been doing flooring?
Well, 39th birthday actually, on Friday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so I've been doing flooring on and off on the weekend since I was about 12. So
That's what you do all the time
that's
now?
it, yeah. Pretty much do showcasing the tool, make a couple of videos and just have a bit of a
Couple of-
laugh as you go.
Couple of videos. Harry, you're going to have to put his social handles up here. Makes a couple of videos. I think he's probably got about 250,000 followers on TikTok from the last time I looked.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Why do you do the content out of curiosity? Is it for the love of it,
Sell
for the
it-
awareness of Pipe Easy?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
mainly for the awareness of the tool, to get it sold and obviously just get link distribution.
Just want to hear from you, like, one, what do you have to do in the job? What do we need to prep for you? And as well as get to a point where we can get a quote and timeframes.
Yeah,
Does that work?
yeah,
Let's go and
let's have a look.
You're sort of going into a new property. What's the thing you're looking at? Is it purely based on square meterage? Are you looking at this thinking, what on earth are we going to do with these tiles?
Well, it depends what you want to put down.
Do you want me to show you the
Suppose-
product?
Yeah, let's have a look
Yeah, so this is the
because
product.
that's going to determine your subfloor prep.
So we've got this Kraus product, which I believe is called Epping, which is going in the house
Yeah,
all the way through. And then because there's two properties here, there's a house and there's a smaller cottage next door.
yeah.
So in the cottage we've got this, which is a herringbone plank. So
Right,
that's what's going in next
so
door.
the herringbone's going next door.
This is
and
going
the
into the
straight
property, yeah.
plank's going in here.
When you're laying this product, our floors in here, they're old,
They're all different heights as well, aren't they?
all different heights. We think across where we're going to end up with is like the utility in this room will be the same height, and then there'll probably be a break here, and then the rest of the downstairs will be the same height as well.
Right, okay. Now you did mention something about some underfloor heating, didn't you?
We've gone against it. Yeah,
You've
we've
gone against it.
just because here you're okay, but if
I
you
was going to say, yeah, you've got a few height issues. You've not got much clearance on the ceiling, have you?
exactly. So when we start putting underfloor in, we start taking away all the height. What do you need to actually do now, work-wise?
Well, I mean, it's up to you if you wanted to get the floors screeded, levelled up, or I can get. Obviously, we can do it. It's up to you. That
Preference would be you do the whole thing, to be honest with you.
right? Okay. Right. Well, what I'll do is I'll measure it all up individually, and we'll name the rooms, and I can quote it individually if you want.
And then how long will it take you to turn a quote around, pal?
A couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah.
If an option, would an option been for me to measure this up for you, or would you always want to eyeball it yourself?
Got to always have a look. Yeah.
Okay.
Just for the subfloor, obviously, that it's tiled and stuff. It always changes, doesn't it?
Okay.
So, herringbone. Have you ordered enough?
Hope so.
Right. All right. Probably just best checking then.
Back in 2 minutes.
Right. So go and check that then. Yeah. We'll go and check that. 21 boxes.
So guys, the posture is a reflection of how I've been feeling this week, but I'm genuinely looking forward to next week. We finally got all the rip out done. Stuff is going back into the property, but most importantly, there's visual changes taking place. The windows are in, and actually at the front of the property, at the point of recording this, there's one window which is fully trimmed up, sealed up, and it looks absolutely stunning. True story, just having a conversation around the property, and 2 people walking through the village complimented us on the change around the frontage of the house. So next week, we've got the plasterers coming in, some walls need skimming, some patchwork needs to be done. We've also got the tiling happening within both kitchens. Chris is then going to start on the bathrooms. The following week, the paint and decorating starts. You're going to see a real transformation on this property. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. While they're cutting, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next week.